Hello and welcome to the Band in a Box 2010 New Features and New RealTracks video tutorial. In this video, we'll show you some of the great new features in Band in a Box 2010, and along the way, you'll also get a taste of some of the amazing new styles in RealTracks sets 67 through 82. Our new RealTracks sets have been split into 3 reel packs: jazz, pop rock, and country. And each pack includes over 30 new RealTracks styles and many new reel drums as well. Right now we're checking out some of the new styles in Reel Pack Jazz 3. Some of the most exciting styles in this pack are our smooth jazz styles. We've recorded 4 different smooth jazz grooves: slow ballad, fast poppy, slow cool swing 16ths, and fast cool swing 16ths. And for each of these grooves, we've recorded 5-string electric bass, classic reel electric piano, and slick reel drums. Right now we're listening to the fast cool swing 16ths groove. One of the first things you'll notice when you start playing is how much faster RealTracks generate. I'll open a demo for another one of the smooth jazz style demos, the ballad tempo from RealTracks 73. Now in the past, a song that's nearly 5 minutes, with 2 RealTracks and reel drums, could take up to 30 seconds to generate all the parts, but now, it's ready in seconds. Another new feature is the ability to have RealTracks play at half or double time. This is an even 16ths bass groove at 65 beats per minute, but there may be RealTracks that are even 8ths based at twice the tempo that could work well with this. You're now able to have those styles work together. For example, I could add a bossa trumpet. In the past, it would actually stretch that down from 140 to 65, and the result wouldn't sound very good. Instead, however, we'll opt to have Band in a Box simply treat this as 70 beats per minute and stretch down from there. You'll also notice some new controls up near the instruments. To start with, there's now an audio reverb control for RealTracks and reel drums. By default, we add a modest amount of reverb to most RealTracks, but you have complete control. For example, if we want this trumpet drenched in verb, we can easily add it. Let's bring it back down to a more respectable level. In addition, there's also more audio control with the bass treble tone control. Simply raise it to lower the bass and add treble. Lower it to boost the bass and bring down the treble. And all of these settings, including reverb for MIDI, panning, etc., are all automatically saved with your song, which is different from previous versions where you would have to go to the special Save with Patches dialog to save that information. This is also a good place to show you a great new feature: freezing tracks. In the past, you could save a song like this and all of the instruments would be the same, but the performance for the various RealTracks styles would be different when you return to it, since the performances themselves were not saved as part of the file. The only way to keep the performance would basically be to save it as audio. Now, however, you can freeze 1 or more tracks, so even if you close Band in a Box, when you return to the Save Song with Frozen Tracks, they'll be exactly the same as they were the last time you listened to them. From the freeze button, you can freeze or unfreeze all tracks or individual tracks. And you can do the same thing for the individual instruments' right-click menus. And now this trumpet solo is frozen, and you can see this indicated by the asterisk. And if I save the song, when I return to it later, the solo will be exactly the same. In addition to being able to preserve RealTracks performances, the freezing also has the added benefit of making the RealTracks generate even faster. We saw how RealTracks in general generate in only a few seconds in Band in a Box 2010. Well, with freezing, even those few seconds are shaved off. Let's check out some more of the demos from RealPack Jazz 3. RealTracks Set 76 adds many new RealTrack styles to our ever-expanding collection of jazz waltzes. Here's a demo of the slow jazz waltz with electric guitar and bass. Now another new feature is automatic tempo swapping of similar RealTracks. With the RealTracks that are currently loaded, we can easily increase the tempo. And the stretching features in Band in a Box do a great job of maintaining the quality. At 110, however, you do start to notice some slight decrease in quality, and more importantly, the musicians would play differently at this faster tempo, likely less busy. In the past, you would have been able to just assign different RealTracks, ones that were actually recorded at faster tempo. Band in a Box makes this even easier now. If you've set your preferences to do so, Band in a Box can determine for you if there are similar RealTracks at the higher tempos, and automatically switch them for you. So if I press stop now and press play again, since I'm currently using these settings, it automatically switched both the bass and the guitar from the 85 beats per minute styles to the 110 beats per minute styles. Also, both included with RealTracks Set 76. Some of the other RealTracks included in RealPack Jazz 3 are the new Latin ballroom styles, including this cha-cha. And our new solo accompaniment pianos intended to be perfect for a simple backing for a singer or soloist with no additional rhythm section instruments. This is one of our 3 new stride pianos. And this one is one of our rehearsal pianos. Less elegant than the stride, but every bit as charming. RealPack Rock and Pop 3 includes RealTracks Set 67 to 72 and RealDrum Set 27, which is a total of over 30 RealTracks and RealDrum styles. Right now we're listening to a demo featuring several hard rock waltz guitar styles, including a 12-string acoustic guitar, a distorted electric played with a palm mute, and and an electric with a sustain effect. This style also uses one of the rock modern waltz real drums variations, and if we check this style out in the Real Drums picker, we can see that this dialogue has been enhanced with information about artist's name and bio and the Real Drums set number. This style uses MIDI bass, which makes it a useful demo to show a new feature, the plug-in mode. Band in a Box can now act as a plug-in for your favorite sequencer or DAW digital audio workstation, such as RealBand, Sonar, Reaper, Pro Tools, FL Studio, Nuendo, and more. Simply press this plug-in button to start plug-in mode. As you can see, I have RealBand open in the background. You can then enter any chord progression into Band in a Box and simply drag the track from Band in a Box to your sequencer's track at the desired track and bar location. So, for example, I could drag the 12-string acoustic guitar from Band in a Box to bar 4 of this first track. And you can see the track present in RealBand. And of course, it also works for MIDI. And with MIDI tracks, you can either set them to drag actual MIDI information or first convert to audio using your currently selected DXI synth. And you can see that there is the MIDI information. But if I change the plugin settings, it instead converts it to an audio file. This is the same whether you drag to the digital audio workstation or just a Windows folder. And the Band in a Box window is now sizable, even when you're not in plugin mode, so you can now use Band in a Box while still being able to view other windows in the background. A new feature in Band in a Box 2010 is enhancements to the Favorites dialog. In the past, the dialog worked both as favorites and recently played, but you had to choose one or the other. Now you have the option of doing both. The actual favorites can be your own personal favorites. You can save playlists, add songs, use the list with the jukebox, etc. And you can also view the recently played songs here. And we can see all the songs we've listened to over the course of this video. The same is true for favorite styles. And with the styles in the style picker itself, there's a button to add styles to favorites. Add a filter to only show your favorites. There's also a category here for both favorites and recently played styles. RealTracks Set 70 features several new solo accompaniment pop piano styles, including this pop Bronx style. You may have noticed that the RealTracks dialog now opens faster, and there are several other new features here as well. New columns have been added, such as whether or not the styles are tempo swappable, like these jazz waltz pianos. This is a new column indicating whether the style is able to play shots and holds, another new feature we'll get to later in the video. All of these columns are sizable, and it remembers any changes to this the next time you enter the dialog. For this Bronx style, rather than using one of our included style demos, I'll just enter some chords of my own, say B flat, E flat, F, B flat, G minor, C, F sus, B flat, and E flat. And I'll repeat those 8 bars and make the song 16 bars long and 120 beats per minute. If we go into the Render to Audio dialog, we can see that the layout is now a lot more concise and easier to read. There are also some added features such as a normalize option. This balances the overall level, bringing it more on par to most professional recordings. The rendering is now quicker for songs such as this one that have no MIDI, and you can also now render without having to have a DXI or VST synth in use. If you only use RealTracks, you wouldn't bother with the synth anyway, which makes this a useful new option. You also no longer need to render to the same folder as your BB song. You can pick any folder you like. RealPack Country 3 includes RealTracks set 78 to 82 and RealDrum set 29. Right now we're checking out some of the country boogie guitar RealTracks from set 78. This includes acoustic guitar, clean electric guitar, and a slightly grittier sounding electric guitar. You may have noticed all the instruments playing both a shot and a hold in the intro. This is a new feature with Band-in-a-Box 2010. Shots and holds have always been entered in Band-in-a-Box by using 2 periods for a shot or 3 periods for a hold. But until now, those shots have only worked with MIDI instruments and real drums, not RealTracks. Well, with Band-in-a-Box 2010, this feature is finally here. Let's have a listen again to the effect of using shots and holds in your song. Shots and holds are a great way of marking off sections in your song, or just adding a little extra variation. Here's a slow waltz featuring guitars from RealTracks set 82. This is a perfect demo to use to show you another new feature, long endings. In the past, Band-in-a-Box has been limited to 2 bars for the ending. This usually means that for the first bar, the instruments play, and then on the downbeat of the second bar, or within the second bar, the instruments play a final chord and hold it. The instruments then decay and fade out by the end of that bar. This often left a somewhat unnatural sound, as the instruments had to fade out quickly to be silent by the end of the bar. Whereas in most commercial music, instruments are left to decay for a longer period of time. With the new long endings, the endings are played the same, but there is now an extra 2 bars allotted at the end for the instruments to decay naturally. I'll skip to the end of this song by right-clicking and selecting Chorus 3, and you can hear how the instruments decay beyond the 2 bars of the ending. This is especially noticeable in fast songs or waltzes where the bars are already quite short. Here are some of our Memphis Swing electric guitar RealTracks. Here are some other new features in Band-in-a-Box 2010 that, while they're not huge changes, people have requested them to make certain tasks easier. Songs saved as a different name now have the new name added to the recently used song dialog, which wasn't the case in the past. Multiple undo support has been added, and undo also now works for entry of individual lyrics. And many messages have changed to yellow alerts at the top right of the screen, so that you don't have to respond to the message, interrupting workflow. We hope you enjoy the many new features and new RealTracks in Band in a Box 2010.